Welcome to the House of Norway's lawn program. We're here to celebrate Syttende Mai, Norway's Independence Day.
Welcome to the Constitution Day Syttende Mai celebration in Balboa Park here in beautiful San Diego. Commemorating Norway's National Day has been an ongoing affair here and in the US for many generations. It all started in 1814 when Norway got its first constitution. And that's pretty much been the same constitution as we have today. And that's what we're celebrating today, Norwegian Constitution Day, which is our national day. It started out with a famous Norwegian poet called Bjørnson, and he collected children and flags, and they had songs, and they started the first children's parade shortly after. In 1825, the immigration started to America, and in some communities, over 40% of the population came here. So they all have celebrated this day, Constitution Day, the 17th of May. My name is Frank Stensnes, and it's a pleasure to be here with you today. The day is centered on children, so ice cream and goodies are prominently featured, and the official greeting of the day is Gratulerer med dagen. All you do is say Gratulerer, Gratulerer med dagen. Excellent. That means congratulations on this day, and that's how one would greet each other on May 17 in Norway and now in America too. Make sure you try and visit the tables we have set up. You can get your membership and flags for sale. See Eric or Terry. Robin and Kelly have games for the young'uns back there if they get antsy during the program. And Chris Tuttle was supposed to be at the rosemaling table. Excellent. And we will also have Sandra at our Woods and Crafts, Arts and Crafts table. And of course, you have to go visit the Norwegian Seamen's Church shop, which is down here from St. Pedro. The Syttende Mai cheer heard all over Norway and in Norwegian communities all over the world, because some Norwegian shipping and Norwegians have expats all over the world, is 3 ganger 3 hip hip hurrah. 3 times 3 hip hip hurrah. And today, I want you to join me in expressing support for the celebrations with this greeting. When I say hip hip, hurrah, you respond with hurrah. We do this twice. At the last hip hip, we respond with hurrah 3 times. Hip hip! Hurrah! Hip hip! Hurrah! Hip hip! Hurrah! 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 Fantastic. They can hear us all across the pond to the old country. We'll start our program with fiddle performers, Bruce Furchner and Riley Dowing. If you could want to come up and get set up. But before, I want to know a couple of things about the program. So, do you want me to help you take that over? Sure. We'll put them right up front here. So you're studying how to play the fiddle.
Yes.
And for how long have you done that?
Not long.
You, are there any Norwegian songs? So what motivated you?
My teacher wanted me to start doing this, so.
That's your favorite student in the whole world right there. Good job. So which song are you going to start with for us?
Gallop fra Saltdalen?
That's correct. Gallop fra Saltdalen. And now we give you Bruce Furcher and Riley Downing.
No, actually, I think those are her class.
Most of this music, fiddle tunes, is intended as dance music. So if the mood strikes you, feel free. This next one is a waltz.
As you know, the custom for May 17 celebrations is the parade. Usually we start in the morning at 7 a.m. With a citizens parade called Morgenposisjonen. Afterward, there is a parade for all the school children in their best with their teacher marching to their school bands. In the afternoon, you'll find a citizens parade of local organizations, followed up by a parade by the graduating high schoolers, Russetoget, which is sometimes the most popular. So it's very important to wave your flags and make noise for the parade. So we will get started with the parade. So thank you all to all the parade goers. Very important part of May 17th. We usually have a couple of national songs that are that we know, unless we do Mellom bakker og berg. Do you know that one? Huh? Kan du stemme i? Bakker og berg ut med havet, her vil nordmannen fenje sin heid. Her han sjøl har et tuftane grave, og sett sjøl sine hus opp og ned. That's what we do. Thank you to all the parade goers. Make sure that you turn in your flags. If it's not yours, I would like you to ask our Queen to do the Pledge of Allegiance, and afterwards I would like Thelma Johannesson to lead us in the national anthems.
Hi alla sammen. Hi everyone. Can I please invite everyone to stand up and face the flag that is right behind us in the House of USA and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. So please put your right hand over your heart, ready, and begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And now we will have the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming streaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Ja, vi älskar detta land som det stiger fram, rättfärdigt över vadet med 1000 hjem. Älskar det och tänker har det sagan natt som sänker drömmen på vår jord. Har det sagan natt som sänker drömmen på vår jord.
It is now my pleasure to introduce to you the the new minister of the Norwegian Seamen's Church in San Pedro, Åsmund Offernes. Are you here? Excellent. From what I understand, you arrived in January, and we hope that you like California and that you enjoy your visit to San Diego. Please give him a warm welcome.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here today, and I will try to speak in English, but I will use a very heavy Norwegian accent. Just to honor the Norwegian Day. The Norwegian Constitution, it was founded in 1814, so it's the second oldest living constitution in the world, just second to the American from 1776. So that's a thing that our countries have in common, that we have the oldest constitutions. What we don't have in common is the weather. And you know, in Norway, if you come to Norway mid-April, people will be talking about the weather for the 17th of May. That's when it starts, mid-April. Then we talk about how do you think the weather will be this year, obviously meaning on the 17th of May. And then through May and into June, we will talk about how the weather was on the 17th of May. But then we don't have the liberty to change the date as you can do in San Diego. You can just put the 17th of May and do it on the 14th. That's no problem. But if you do that in Norway, I think you'll be executed or something. Because it's the real holiday, the most important holiday of the year. Because then we celebrate our freedom. And you know, you shouldn't take lightly on the word freedom, because life without freedom, it's almost unthinkable. Because from we wake up in the morning and then, until we get to bed at night, we enjoy being free. We can do what we want, think what we want, even say what we want. And we live in a free part of the world. And no one is threatening our borders. You know, our Ukrainian brothers and sisters, they don't have this liberty. And talking about the Constitution and our National Day of Freedom, it makes it special on a day like this, in a year like this, when peace is threatened in Europe. I felt so honored coming here today, because the first thing that happened was that a beautiful woman came up to me and she looked at me and she said, "Oh, are you a dancer?" And I like, yeah. I thought she looked at my body, you know. This one is built for dancing. And then I walked a little bit around, thinking, well, I was with a little spring in my walk, you know. And then another man came up to me, and he said, "Oh, are you a dancer?" And then I thought, well, maybe I should be dancing a little bit more. And then I came to think about my costume. And I thought, yeah, this is obviously what dancers wear in Balboa Park. So then I wasn't as flattered. But you know, it's a good way to start any conversation, you know? You just walk up to somebody and say, "Oh, are you a dancer?" Because, you know, it puts the conversation on a good note. If you think this will be a long speech, you'll be disappointed, but I will just say a few things more. Because Norway in 1814, we really got lucky. Our freedom was handed to us through events in European politics. It wasn't like we fought for our freedom. We were actually quite happy being together with the Danish. But then suddenly, we were given to the Swedes as a consolation after a war in Europe. So we were the prize. We were the bride that were given to the Swede in a wedding. And fortunately, this became a very happy wedding. And fortunate for us, the Swedish king, he was very vain. And he decided to keep Norway for himself. So he didn't join those two kingdoms. He kept Norway and Sweden separate as his kingdoms. And that was a very good thing for Norway, because then we could keep our constitution and we could keep our liberty. We didn't have to go completely into bed with the Swedes. And then in 1905, Norway carefully and graciously decided we don't want to be with the Swedes anymore. And you know, the Swedes, they accepted. They were a bit angry, but they didn't go to war. And then we could peacefully coexist as brother people. And that's how it is today. So we're very grateful to the Swedes, because they were so gracious to us. And we're very grateful to the Danish, who kind of taught us how to be a nation. And we're grateful to America for providing such a great constitution that we could very much just write off and use as our own. So, congratulations on this day to everyone who is Norwegian and everyone who loves Norway, even if it's just a cultural thing. Norway is a great place. Hope you can come and visit someday. And if you can, go on 17th of May, because that's the greatest day of the year. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.
Thank you so much. I would like to call on our Norwegian consul to San Diego, Gordon Kovtun.
Hello there, my name is Gordon Kovtun. I'm the Norwegian consul for San Diego and Imperial Counties. So how great is it that we get to have Syttende Mai in the park again after being down since 2019? I'd like to thank the House of Norway for inviting me to be here today and for putting all this on. It takes a lot of effort, so let's put our hands together for the House of Norway for all they do. They keep this thing alive. So I have for you today a message from the Consul General. The Consul General is in San Francisco, and she is my boss. She's a career diplomat. She answers to the Office of Foreign Ministry. So she has provided a very interesting message that trails a little bit about what the pastor was saying. Just a message from Consul General Gry Henriksen. Dear friends of Norwegians, American and Norwegian Americans, happy 17th of May. For the first time since 2019, Norwegians celebrate the 17th of May as it is meant to be celebrated with family, friends, and the whole town or city coming out into the streets and parks. There will be parades, eating, singing, marching bands, games, and speeches. It is in itself, of course, a celebration that we can safely gather again on the most important day of the year for Norwegians. The typical 17th of May speech reflects upon the values that are the foundation of Norwegian society. democracy, human rights, and rule of law. This year, those values are threatened in a more fundamental way than we've seen in a long time. This year, Russia invaded Ukraine. One sovereign nation initiating an act of war against another, utterly ignoring diplomatic options that were open to them. Russia's invasion of Ukraine is a brutal attack on a free country and innocent people who are now being subjected to unmanageable suffering, said the Prime Minister in a statement. In 1814, at the conclusion of the Napoleonic Wars under the Treaty of Kiel, Norway was promised to Sweden as part of the spoils of war. Inspired by the wave of enlightened thinking that was sweeping through Europe and America, at the time Norwegians said no. They felt they deserved to have their own personal freedom, sovereignty, and control over their own destiny. Norway declared its independence. Taking major cues from the U.S. Constitution ratified 26 years earlier, Norway's 112 founding fathers quickly developed a document that we celebrate on the 17th of May, the one that would provide a blueprint for Norway that endures to this day. Our Constitution says that we're a country that values the individual rights that are worth defending, that people matter more than the state. These ideas may feel like common sense now, but at the time they were drafted, they must have seemed radical. Our society is built on reason and truth and steeped in openness and tolerance, and our founding document reinforced these ideas. We sometimes take for granted our ability to speak out against our own government, our freedom to freely move about, and go to the next page. Is that you? It is fitting because our country's fates have been intertwined in many ways. Norway sees America as its close friend and ally. We are, and always will be, deeply grateful to the United States for its assistance during and after World War II. We stood together during the Cold War and stood shoulder to shoulder in many conflicts around the world. We are both founding members of NATO and take our commitment to the Transatlantic Alliance very seriously. Both countries are providing aid to Ukraine. Today, I hope you will do all the traditional 17th of May things, march in a parade, check, wave flags, check, and eat too many hot dogs and too much ice cream, yeah, that happened. But I hope that you also take a moment to contemplate the ideals that this day stand for freedoms as we Norwegians, Americans, and Norwegian Americans enjoy every day. Happy 17th of May, and gratulerer med dagen. You probably heard my Point Loma dialect in that. Anyway, that's it for me. Thank you very much to the House of Norway for everything they do and for inviting me here today.
Thank you so much, Consul Gordon Koftun. We are very fortunate to have him be accessible to us as a Norwegian community. As you probably know, his office deals with everything from lost passports to renewals to all kinds of things. I'm sure he doesn't want to hear all that you have to say about the Norwegian government, but he is our official representative, and we are very grateful to have him here. Alrighty then, it's a great pleasure for me to introduce the Norwegian Ladies Choir.
Hi everybody. We are the Southern California Doma Corps, and now we are going to sing a whole set for you. And I get to introduce kind of the first three songs for us. So there are three songs to celebrate Syttende Mai, our Constitution Day. They express the love Norwegians have for their country. The first song asks God to bless this dear land. The second extols the beauty of our God-given land. And the third asks God to bless our King, bless him with courage and strength.
Good
rural Norway, it's very often that the whole community will process, usually led by a fiddler, and very often they have a song that's very specific to the town that they come from. This one is from Waffle.
Song, the singers express love for their native land. My Norway, you are peaceful and still in winter. Let springtime appear with sunshine and warmth, and when my life is departing, may I lie in your hallowed ground.
It must be for immigrants and refugees to leave their homeland, whether to escape poverty, violence, or war. The next song, Norrbotten Seilerin, was written in response to the Syrian refugees fleeing dangerous conditions in their country. Norwegians welcomed many refugees. The text now says, "Now your boat is sailing into safe, calm waters." Can we imagine the pain you felt in every crashing wave? You who fled are just like us, sisters and brothers who sailed away and have found refuge here in the north. We will keep the flame burning until you can return to your home. by Norwegian. Oh, wrong one. Our next song, Til Ungdommen, was written by the Norwegian poet Nordahl Grieg in 1936, inspired by Spanish Civil War. Titled For the Youth and addressed to the youth, it says, "Surrounded by enemies, go into your time. During a bloody storm, get ready to fight. Perhaps you ask in fear, unprotected, what shall I fight with? What is my weapon? Here is your defense against violence. Here is your sword. The belief in our life, the worth of all people. Then the weapons sink, powerless to the ground. By creating human dignity, peace is restored. This is our promise. Treasure our sacred world. We will take care of its beauty as if we carried a child with love and protection in our arms."
Ago was May 8th, remembered by Norwegians as Liberation Day, the day in 1945 when Norway was liberated after 5 years of Nazi German occupation. Those 5 years were dark and difficult, but we must never forget the heroic resistance by so many of their country. The Ukrainian song, Prayer for Ukraine, is deeply meaningful in these current days. It says, Almighty God, and I skipped something important, sorry, let me back up. Those 5 years were difficult. We'll never forget the heroic resistance, but we're seeing that today in our Ukrainian heroic people of Ukraine. The Ukrainian song, Prayer of Ukraine, is deeply meaningful. It says, Almighty God, preserve Ukraine for us. With beams of freedom and enlightenment, you shine upon her, illuminate her with the light of knowledge. Foster in us a pure love for our native land. Grant us freedom, fortune, enlightenment, and happiness. God grant our people many, many years.
Oh
next song was written by the great American folk singer Pete Seeger and adapted into Norwegian by Lilborg Nilsson. We share the same starry sky, the same blue ocean, and verdant meadows. We shall live together as sister and brother, small children of the rainbow, and a happy world. Now's our last chance to learn to share what's been given to me and you. Gratulerer med dagen. Happy Syttende Mai.
Hip hip! Hip hip! Hip hip! Thank you so much to the Norwegian Ladies Choir. You did a fantastic job. Safe journey. They have another engagement now, from what I understand. I would like to ask our president of the House of Norway and our queen to come to the stage.
Thanks, Frank. You're awesome. He's so awesome to come out and help us out and be MC for the whole show. He did a great job, and I really do appreciate it. Appreciate all the volunteers, appreciate all of our board, appreciate everything. So we really have some good people. If you guys want to join, you know, we have the membership booth over there. But right now, I want to talk about JL, because she's been queen for us for over 3 years, right? You've been with us. And not only is she our queen, but she's Queen of Queens for HPR, which is like a really prestigious position to be up there. And so all of the houses, a lot of the houses have queens and stuff, and you're so respected. She's so smart, and we're just so happy to have her. We're bummed that she's leaving. She's going to go and tour Europe, and then she's going to go to school. Let's see. I have it written down here, so don't mess it up. Howard University in Washington, D.C. Is that crazy cool? Super smart. And Annalisa, who put this whole event on that ended up coming down with COVID, unfortunately couldn't make it at all. So it's such a bummer, but she really has grown really close to JL. And so she wanted to say especially that it's no surprise to her that you've been accepted to the school, and she wants you to enjoy your Europe travel, and you'll be really missed, and we hope you come back and visit us. And she just really thinks you're the best. So, yay.
Hi everyone, as Jeannie said, my name is Jael. I'm the queen for the House of Norway, and I'm also the Queen of Queens, which means that I'm the president for the Queens organization. And if you haven't heard of the Queens organization, it just falls under the umbrella organization that runs all the cottages, except it's youth representatives. So our cottages can either have peewee princesses, junior princesses, princesses, or a queen. And so you can have multiple princesses, but each house can only have up to one queen. And I've been queen for the House of Norway for the past 3 years, like she just said. It was completely unplanned. I just walked into House of Norway one day, and I had taught myself Norwegian that summer because I was bored. And I walked into the house, and Eric, who might be back there, he was hosting and he was telling a story in Norwegian, and I responded in Norwegian because he had switched to English because he thought I couldn't understand the story and he wanted me to feel included. But I told him in Norwegian that I understood everything he was saying, and immediately everyone was surprised and they welcomed me into the house, and I somehow became the queen and then eventually the president of the organization. But House of Norway is really dear to my heart. I just want to say gratulerer med dagen to everyone, and I hope that everyone's enjoying their Syttende Mai celebration. I'm so sad that this is my last celebration as queen, but I'm also so grateful for this opportunity because everyone has just been so sweet to me in this house and really welcomed me in as their queen. Especially Jeannie and Annalisa. I consider them my Norwegian moms to anyone I ever talk to them about. And Eric, he's my Norwegian grandpa, as I always tell everyone. So it's really just a family, and having the opportunity to just learn about different cultures and interact in such like an amazing international community is really a beautiful thing, and I think it's the best thing about HPR as a whole. So I just wanted to share that with everyone, and I hope everyone has an amazing day. Gratulerer med dagen, everyone. Happy Syttende Mai.
Thank you so much to our royalty, to our queen, and our president. I would like to invite you to the stage, the Norwegian or the Balboa Park dancers. I want you to tell the audience a little bit about what you do and when you practice and how they can become involved so they know where it's coming from.
All right, very good. Thank you. Well, we are the performing folk dancers of Balboa Park. We're an international performing group. We always love doing House of Norway. I think the last time we did it was just before COVID. We're international. We represent lots of different countries, but we also have lots of different heritages. But I'd like to say I'm 1/8 Norwegian. Woo! Hoorah! Yes, we're going to be doing for you several dances from our Norwegian suite. I would like to credit our young ladies, some of us are young, that have made many of their own costumes as men too. And our minister out here, Pastor, I didn't catch his name. You want to dance with us? We'd love to have you. I think you got a long ways to come though, San Pedro, right?
Thinking dancing is a sin.
Okay, all right, very good. Good having you here. We meet on Wednesday evenings here in the recital hall, which is just about a stone's throw from the cottages. And we do fare of lots of different dances, but dances from lots of different countries. But we always love to have new people. So if you're interested, please contact one of us. We'll chat to you about what we do and how you can get involved. We're going to start out with a real tough one for us. We've got some new dancers, and we introduced them the hard way. So we're going to do for you now, Akeril. dance is a trio dance. We actually have a couple of trio dances today. So also helpful when you have maybe a few extra ladies and men. We're going to do a tretour from Fana. Tretour is a dance for three, and it's from Fana, which is over on the west central side of Norway. Now I want to assure you, here we go, every one of the dances we're doing today is from Norway, but sometimes you wouldn't expect it from the name of the dance. So this next dance is called Pariser Polka, which literally means the polka from Paris. How that got into Norway, I have no clue. we have another trio dance, and it's also from west coastal side of Norway. This dance is called a trøytur, also a dance for three. It comes from the area called Hordaland. And this is kind of our comic relief dance, at least one of them in our suite. We get to make fun of the other dancers a little bit. Our last dance in our suite today is called Gammel Rhinelander. The Rhinelander, of course, is a dance that came from Central Europe, but the Scandinavians seem to have adopted it as their own. And so Gammel means it's an old Rhinelander. It's from way back when. And it has a lot of interesting figures to it, as well as some interesting music in sort of a minor key. So Gammel Rhinelander, we're the performing folk dancers of Balboa Park. We thank you very much for being here. We've enjoyed being with you.
Thank you so much to the Balboa Park dancers. We much appreciate and are inspired by your activities here. The very first thing I would like to do now is to thank our kitchen crew. If you've been over to our table there, they are amazing, aren't they? And I would like to thank our consul, Gordon Kovtun and his family, and Åsmund Offernes, and all our fantastic performers and the technical setup here this afternoon. And those who participated in the parade and showed your Syttende Mai spirit, you are the most valuable of all. We have to make a mark on our world, and a good 17th of May parade is exactly the right way to do it. Norwegian seamen, sailors, have been all over the world, and prior to 17th of May they set their mark here in many different ways, but this is one of the ways we do it now. I would like to thank those who have been manning the tables around here. We have the activities and Norwegian Elk Hound Foundation and the Norwegian Arts and Crafts, and of course our Norwegian Seaman Church from San Pedro. There's always something going on there, especially on the weekends, you know. They really have something going on all the time. So if you're in the area, it's worth stopping by and see what they have to offer. And a special thanks goes to those who put this whole thing together, the officers of the House of Norway, including President Jean and the Vice President, who is at home recovering. We wish her all the best and hope she can be here on Tuesday morning when we have our Constitution Day celebration on May 17th, Syttende Mai. It will be a flag racing starting at 9 a.m. in front of the Hall of Nations at 9 a.m. There is breakfast afterwards. This breakfast brunch is RSVP, so see about that at the House of Norway if you would like to attend the breakfast afterward as well. And thanks to you all for attending the program hosted by the House of Norway in beautiful Balboa Park here in San Diego. Gratulerer med dagen.
Thank you.